We're actually a question for both of you, but I'm going to use you as an example. So you voiced on My Little Pony, Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie, and who else? Who have you voiced on that show that we don't know about? And anything on your show that we don't know about? Just a random character.
Don't give it away! Why are you doing that?
Well, I think you know about pumpkin cake, right? Yeah. You knew that.
I knew that. The internet knew that.
4chan.
The internet knows everything. And then we all kind of take turns with the incidental ponies. But then, of course, the fandom.
So you've all taken a turn with Bon Bon at this point, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's getting inappropriate.
That's not like that. Every time she's voiced, she has like a different voice.
What about you?
He's looking up IMDb.
Gotta wiki himself.
I mean, the incidentals, they're always fun because you ask, okay, is this guy coming back? Oh no, he's dying. Okay, let's do something wicked over the top, and you get to play a little bit. Whereas, remembering how this character's arcs and works and relationships, that's part of the work. But when you just get to do like, drunk old man in an alley. Oh, she built my soup. Okay, great, you're dead. So I love it when I get out of the booth and I see my contract and there's like 15 characters. I'm like, really? Oh, sweet. So I collect characters like people collect. Are you still into stamps? Is that
Nobody dies in Ponyville.
They go crazy.
Just hatred and intolerance.
Okay.
Okay, you.
Question to both of you. Is your script usually rigid, or is there a lot of room for improvisation?
Well, when you're doing dubbing, it's quite... You're so restricted to match the flaps. So restricted by syllables, and there's not a lot of room to add too much.
Usually not, but then you get these instances where it's just not been... It's either been underwritten or overwritten, and you have to work with the director on the fly right then and there to come up with something that's going to fit and still be in the flavor and the vein of what was originally there. So I guess it's a bit of both.
Except for off-screen. Like, my character's off-screen.
Oh yeah.
Go crazy!
So yeah, it'll either say like mouth not seen or off or whatever, and then you're like, oh, I've got a whole page dialogue, and I can just you don't have to worry about the flappage. So that's a technical term, flappage.
Not know what flapping lips flap means. No, we are okay.
Like rah, 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 rah. Yeah.
Okay, next question. I haven't asked. Okay, you.
I was just wondering, do you guys get a lot of say in the development of your characters, or are you just the voice?
Well, usually the character has already been established in its, whether it's in Japanese or, like the series is already built, right? So when it comes down to casting the voice in the English markets, I mean, there's a little bit that you're allowed to bring in terms of how you're going to approach the lines, but your story is already set.
Yeah, but even ones that are like in English already, like not just specifically dubbed or whatever.
Prelay. Yeah, there's a lot more freedom in prelay.
Oh, okay.
And I know that in My Little Pony, it's definitely an evolution that's happened between the writers are really cognizant of what the actors are doing, and they're changing, and we're changing to match what they want. So I guess it's a team effort for that.
Okay.
You, the short one. Yeah, you, the short one.
My brother wants to get into voice acting, and he's really, really concerned with that. Do you make a lot of money?
No, I want to hear this.
It's good work when you can get it. But I mean, you work for a couple hours. and then you might not work for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's you know, it's good. It's good
You'd
work.
rather have a mortgage.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything in the arts, or you know, it's always going to be hard to get into any kind of acting, and you have to be realistic, I guess. You can't be doing it solely to think that, oh, that's how I'm going to make my living. If that's how it ends up, that's a bonus. But right now, it's like I wake up in the morning, I go make cartoons. Wow, okay.
You will be living off ramen.
Well, if he's not doing anything else, probably. I mean, who knows? I mean, it's like that. Some people become Ryan Reynolds, and some people stay Brendan Hunter. So.
And the Brendan Hunter's one that wins, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Way ahead of the curve with this one.
Another question from over here. You.
For Andrea, how did the auditioning process go? You wound up with 2 characters on the same show, and nobody else did.
Ashley did. And Tab.
Everyone did. They auditioned 4 people. The show had to be cast.
How did you wind up with multiples in the same show? From all the same time?
Really super lucky. I didn't audition them thinking, having that in mind. So it was sort of, I auditioned them, and then once it was cast, we tried to separate them a bit even more. But just super lucky.
We'll often get lead or supporting lead roles, and then there'll be a recurring character we also have to do. But we don't know that until we get in. I mean, we don't audition for that. So you'll audition for and get the lead role, and then you'll find out that you're doing these other characters that either interact with yourself or that you have these kind of ongoing relationships with. And so it's this tricky balance of, okay, I've already set this whole voice precedent with that guy, and you know, making sure that everything is far enough removed. Like there's some actors that are so good at that, and I always worry that there's still that stamp that you just can't get away from, that fingerprint of your voice. So
Hence, you really like that Victory of the Whale chick.
I get every effeminate character in every show. I don't. Typecast is cast, so be happy if you can keep getting cast, but it's always this ongoing joke that I'm always the lithe, the dandy kind of voice. And, and then I get 10 and we're doing all this rough stuff, and you're like, okay, well, that's what I like to do, but I'm always doing beautiful. So.
Okay. Couple questions back there.
The gloved hand, or?
No, waving back there. Yeah, you.
Has there ever been a role that you really wanted to get that you didn't get?
So many times. That's the nature of the business, right? You are constantly auditioning, and you're not going to get every role, and you're not going to get on every series, and that's just how it is. So you kind of have to just, like what I do is when I go in for an audition, after I get out, I delete all my emails. I burn my script. But you just kind of have to almost forget about it a little bit and not expect anything. And then when something does come, just celebrate it and be happy and just take what comes, I guess.
Make cupcakes.
Yeah.
No.
Chewy cherry or cherry chenga?
Both.
Oh, the placating answers.
Yeah, you think.
So this is for Andrea. What do you feel about the abnormal things that Pinkie Pie does that seem like they wouldn't work in the real world?
I love it. It's so fun. Well, you see it in a script and you're thinking, really? Okay. I think it's so fun because it's so different, right? And that's why she's special.
No, you already had one. You. Well, asked it first.
For all the characters you've been voicing, or any of the characters' traits, are there any of them that you want to change?
Time travel.
Acting is always a reflection of your personal evolution. Every day that you grow older, wiser, smarter, stupider, whatever it is for you, that affects your work. So, I mean, you can look at things that you did and you were younger, you were less experienced, and you go, oh, I missed that. I missed something I could have added there. But, you know, it's nothing I would stay up at night, every night, worrying about for years to come.
I feel that, I mean, since I started so young, it's definitely like, there's a lot of room to get into that. Like, oh, shoulda. But you just have to not listen to yourself.
Important advice. Yeah, you.
This is for Andrea. Having to voice Fluttershy and Pinkie and having to talk to yourself when they're having a conversation, is it hard to switch between both voices, and have you had to like do it multiple times because you can't get them right?
I think at the beginning, for sure, a lot slower. But now that we're into season 3, it's just more comfortable. You just practice makes perfect, I guess. It gets better.
In case anybody was planning asking questions, no, she can't tell us anything about season 3.
Tara did. Spoilers.
Yeah, Tara did spoiler, and it's going to be so cute. That's, yeah, and Delancey spoiled by accident. But that's all we're getting. So yeah.
I know that even though the show is very unrealistic, like you see a lot of talking animals, but there's also been a lot of mythical creatures too. Like I've noticed phoenixes and hydras and cockatoos. Is there any mythical creature that you're hoping to see next?
I don't know what are you thinking of?
Well, I was really surprised to actually see the hydra in the swamp, even though it was 4 heads instead of 3. But I was kind of intrigued, like there was other mythical animals that were in like the evergreen forest that were.
Maybe there'll be that thing from Narnia. What's that called?
They've already had one.
No, the horse thing. Yeah, centaur.
No, that would be a human pony mix, and Lyra. Question over here, maybe? No hands up over here? No? Okay, Chris, you got a question.